We are learning more this morning about a deadly plane crash in California. Plus, one Eastern Kentucky church is in danger of being destroyed due to unstable ground. And we will hear more about the White House's response to the growing opioid crisis.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 5:30 on February the 4th. I'm Will Puckett. It is the Monday after the Super Bowl, but you might forget what you did last night, but you're going to be welcomed with some warm weather today, but it's a rainy week. Let's bring Brandon down the folder, gives us a better breakdown of today and what to expect. Brandon?
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad today, especially this morning, but as we head deeper into the afternoon, you'll see more clouds start to increase and you'll see more rain chances. But let's take a look at the conditions this morning on our camera network. We start on top of US 119 up there on Whitesburg Pine Mountain, and again a quiet night, no even much traffic there in the overnight hours. UVA wise, all quiet this morning. Look at the stars kind of bouncing around there, setting in the sky overnight. So a beautiful day, beautiful start to the day rather. Unfortunately though, we'll see those clouds and rain chances increase later on, but not this morning. Live pinpoint Doppler radar, we scan the skies and it's clean sweeps across the board as we start your Monday. The temperature swing is because of Ridge Valley split, and what that means is that warmer air rises and the cooler air sinks. So the valley's a little bit cooler than the ridges this morning. Hazard 33, Harlan 32, Middlesboro 30. That's the coldest spot in the region, but you go up toward Moorhead and Jackson, you see 46 in Moorhead and 48 in Jackson, so a little warmer on those ridge tops. Forecast for today, the clouds start to increase and the rain chances start to increase the later into the afternoon we get up to 65, and then more chances for scattered showers will be around tonight, only dropping into the low 50s. I'll have the rest of that forecast on the way here in just a few minutes. Will?
All righty, Brandon. Thank you. Well, leading our news at 5:30, a man faces charges in Wise County, Virginia for cutting down a tree that fell on a car, killing the driver. The Wise County Commonwealth's attorney says Tony Osborne is charged with involuntary manslaughter and trespassing. The tree fell on a woman's car Saturday while she was driving on Route 23. We do not know the name of the driver and hope to learn more about this case later today. Well, the search continues this morning for suspects involved in a deadly hit-and-run Saturday night. It happened in Winfield, Tennessee, not far from the Kentucky border. Officials with the Tennessee Highway Patrol say 21-year-old William Thomas was killed when two vehicles hit him on Scott Highway. Both drivers left the scene. Tennessee authorities are asking anyone with information to come forward. Well, new this morning, we have learned 5 people have died after a plane crashed into a home in Southern California. Officials with Orange County Sheriff's Department says the pilot and 4 people inside the home in the Yorba Linda community were killed. We are also told 2 other people were taken to the hospital with serious injuries. Witnesses say the moments in the aftermath of the crash were terrifying.
I saw the house over here, diagonal to me, fully engulfed in flames. I heard glass breaking, people yelling for their lives, screaming, God help me.
Officials say debris is scattered over 4 blocks, and a nearby elementary school will be closed today as they investigate what happened. Meanwhile, a pilot in Minnesota had a scary landing when his engine overheated Saturday. Michael Robbins has been flying planes for 30 years. On this particular Saturday, he decided to take his bright yellow Quad Cities Challenger on a short trip to visit friends in New Richmond. After one of the coldest weeks of the year, his plane engine was overheating and he needed to land. After circling for a while, he decided to land the plane on an interstate on-ramp. Robbins was not injured in the landing. Well, in Powell County now, new information had crews searching once again for a Clay City man this weekend. Roy Lane went missing in March of last year. He was last seen at a gas station. Officials say nothing came of the search, but they're not giving up. They plan to meet again sometime this week, possibly with a dog, so they can search along the water. The family is offering a $700 reward for information that helps them find him. Well, a death investigation is underway after a body was found this weekend in Pulaski County. The coroner tells us the body of a 52-year-old man was found off an embankment Saturday night in the Ringgold community. The body was taken to Frankfort for an autopsy. Officials are not releasing the man's name at this time. Now, also in Pulaski County, a Somerset man is facing multiple charges after he was found with several guns and ammunition. Pulaski County deputies say they pulled over Tip Miller Sunday morning. When they searched his car, they found the guns. Miller had outstanding warrants. Deputies charged him with being a convicted felon in possession of firearms. Well, next door in Laurel County, a man is behind bars this morning, accused of attacking a woman and then trying to damage a police cruiser. It happened at a home on Tim Bowman Drive Saturday afternoon. Deputies arrested 44-year-old Marvin Hatfield. We are told a woman inside the home told them Hatfield had pushed her down and hit her in the face when he was taken into custody. Deputies tell us he tried to kick the back windows out of the cruiser. He faces several charges. Well, staying in Laurel County, deputies there are responding to a report of a medical emergency left with a man under arrest. Early Sunday morning, crews were called to a business on US 25 south of London for what was reported as a woman possibly found dead in the parking lot. While crews were loading her into an ambulance, we are told 23-year-old Alexander Blackwood of Corbin started yelling and cursing and causing a disturbance. He was arrested and taken to jail on public intoxication charges. We are still working to find out more about the woman. Well, a church in Martin County is falling off the side of a hill, and as WYMT's Marianne Fletcher reports, those who built it say if something isn't done soon, it will be destroyed.
Inside nearly every church, you'll find people singing and worshiping, but not in this one.
Everybody was a somebody here in this church.
Betty Harris and her late husband built this church in 1998.
When I come in, I have a comfort. A lot of people has put their life to the Lord here.
Now the church remains empty every Sunday.
And I said, it's too dangerous. We can't have church in here. I went home. I cried all night. I cried up in the day. I couldn't talk about it. I could talk about it now a little bit.
Betty says a drain pipe put into the ground near the church is broken, causing excess water to run through the soil.
You can see where it has about 3 foot under the church house. It's going to take the whole front and maybe all of it.
Members are attending other churches while this one is slowly sliding off the hill.
You can see that the more the rain comes, if they don't do something, it's going to take the whole church house.
Betty says she hopes new county management will fix the slide before it is too late.
To see it go over the hill, it's unbearable for me. It's horrible.
Hoping for a solution for this heartbreaking sight. In Martin County, Marianne Fletcher, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, Betty Harris tells us she has hired a lawyer and hopes to have the issue resolved soon. Well, a new education reform bill, unpopular with educators, could pass the West Virginia State Senate later today. Senate President Mitch Carmichael announced the update last night on Facebook. During a live broadcast, he said the bill, which has been highly criticized by teachers and even the governor, will put a plan in the works to put students first and to give teachers better pay and parents more options. Well, it is a critical week for Congress and President Trump as they head back to the negotiating table to fund the government. The president spent Super Bowl weekend at his Florida resort, but is back in the White House this morning and says he has got a lot of work ahead of Tuesday's State of the Union address. David Daniel has a look at where negotiations stand right now.
Golfing with stars. President Trump is ending his personal golf shutdown with Tiger Woods and Jack Nicklaus. The weekend getaway ends the longest stretch of his presidency without a round at one of his own courses. And it kicks off a critical week of government shutdown negotiations with congressional leaders.
The president is dead set on keeping his campaign promise. I support border security.
Everything can be on the table for discussion, but clearly this needs to be about the facts.
Lawmakers have until February 15th to agree on border security funding. The government was partially shut down for more than a month after Democrats refused to fund a border wall. As congressional leaders return to Capitol Hill to work out a deal, President Trump appears to be signaling a border wall or nothing approach to the negotiations.
You need a wall, and anybody that says you don't, they're just playing games.
In an interview on Face the Nation, he said several options, including another shutdown, were on the table.
It's that alternative. It's national emergency. It's other things. And, you know, there have been plenty national emergencies called.
And as yet another shutdown looms in the distance, President Trump will need to finalize Tuesday's State of the Union address in between golf outings. And both sides of the aisle hope to make progress on Capitol Hill.
We've got a chance this week to move things. Will we? We don't know. The president could be right. We could be wasting our time.
I'm David Daniel reporting.
Now, the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy recently highlighted how it plans to fight opioid addiction. Goals include reducing opioid prescription fills by 1/3 and improving access to evidence-based addiction treatment. Officials also plan to increase public awareness of rescue breathing, a form of mouth-to-mouth resuscitation that can help opioid overdose victims. And the White House announced Saturday that Ronny Jackson will serve as assistant to the president and chief medical advisor. Jackson is President Trump's former physician. The appointment comes less than a year after Jackson withdrew from consideration as Trump's nominee for Secretary of Veterans Affairs over allegations that he was abusive towards colleagues, loosely handled prescription pain medications, and was periodically intoxicated. Jackson denied all of the allegations leveled against him, calling them completely false and fabricated, but he remains under Pentagon investigation. Coming up on Mountain News this morning, it is the talk of the town this morning. We will have highlights from Super Bowl 53.
Warmer weather will continue today, but we'll pay for it with some rain chances. I'll have your full forecast in just a few minutes.